right now we do have two teams going at it. It's Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. And I'm excited to bring you this one. I grew up in Seattle. I went to school there, and like I am a huge Seattle fan. Now that being said, Seattle is 47-67 on the year, and they're something absurd like 20 games back of the wild card. So as a Seattle Mariners fan, you kind of know that's what you're going to expect. But I'm going to look past it and hopefully, let's see what happens. Now that being said, I did decide to go with San Diego. So let's jump into the game right now. And you can quickly see how my board is doing. We are right now, still in the first inning, the bottom of the first. And San Diego, we are in the top of the second. My bad. We are in the top of the second. And we have LeBlanc pitching. And so he has already, after one inning, replaced Weisler. And I'm not sure why that's happened. But, maybe we'll get some more insight on that later in the game. So, right now, scoreless game. And there's a quick grounder to Austin Nola. Tosses it over to Vogelbeck. And that is an easy out for Seattle. So right now, as you can see on my board, there we go. My pitching does have 3.5 points, and Renfroe was just up, and Renfroe just let me down, unfortunately. So I have a feeling that San Diego is going to win this game, and so that's kind of why I went with more points towards San Diego. I do think that they have a better chance of actually pulling this off, not by much, and I think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game, so I went with a fairly balanced board. I do have 3 Seattle Mariners in there. But the reality is both of their offenses are not ideal, and there's a reason that these teams are where they're at in terms of position. But very quickly, let's actually just take a look at the ranks as well. So right now, first place has 6.5 points, and I only have 2.5 points, and that's because Renfroe got that out in the first. So I am currently sitting at 26th place. But I am tied with a lot of people, so it's not that bad, I don't think. I'm pretty happy with it, I think, overall. But again, we'll see. So I am 26th out of how many do we have in the room? Oh, actually, no, I'm doing terrible. I just realized that. So I'm 26th out of 28 currently. Not where I saw myself being this morning when I signed up for the boards. But, and a nasty strike 3 on the slider. Great off-speed pitch. And that is something that both teams, that is where their strengths lie in terms of their pitching. You're not going to blow these guys away with fastballs, but you can at least get them to bite on some of these curveballs, some of these sliders, and majority of these breaking balls is really where you're going to get them. So, LeBlanc, already 2 away right now. 7 pitches in. That was a beautiful strike right there. So, let's check out my board again. So Josh Naylor is up, and I don't have Josh Naylor on my board. So we are in the middle of the count right now, and Margot Manuel is also not on my board, so he can't help us out either. So actually, looking at this, the Seattle batting order doesn't suit the rest of my board, so that doesn't help me at all. But what we can do is we can take a look at other people's boards. So Ben 4, so we can check out his board and kind of see what he's doing and what he's going on. Why is he in first place with 6.5 points? J.D. Crawford of Seattle did have a base hit earlier in the first inning, so that's why he's got 1.5 points there. His pitching has 5 points, where my pitching only has 3.5 points, and I do have that -1, so that's how my score is calculated. Whereas Ben 4 is already up 6.5 points purely based on pitching and one base hit. So that's, we're still very, very early in this game, so it's hard to actually determine success this early in the game and who's going to be successful. And the reality is, Ben 4, you're doing great right now. Good job, you're in first place, but this is a very, very long game. and you do have two missing pieces. So you have, I think, Tim Murphy and Beckham. They're both out on your board. So that is going to be a huge problem. And you'll see that when you're missing players, especially in critical positions like that top right corner, that's going to be a huge problem later in the game when you're trying to get bingos. So right now, if you look at it, I mean, you're talking about several bingos that he cannot get anymore. He can't get the horizontal over the top or the middle, vertical. With Hosmer, he can't get it, obviously. Diagonal, he can't get. I mean, so you're talking about limiting your points, you know, extensively based on a lot of these things. So it's something that you have to be aware of, and it can be really, I don't know, iffy, if you will. So it's not something that I would prefer, but as of right now, he's at least doing fairly well. So we can update it and just see. So yeah, so Ben 4 now has 11.5 points because of the Seattle pitching, and I am very much kicking myself right now. Now I understand. Look, he has you know, 11.5 points, and that's fantastic. But it's not going to be sustainable. I'm telling you right now, because of the way that the board, and you're missing a few players, it's not sustainable for the long term. But there's other players, and you can see, right? It's purely J.P. Crawford and the Seattle pitching. That's the only reason that these people are up right now. So again, long term, not going to be beneficial, especially with how everything else is. But let's see where we rank. We're still 26 with 2.5, obviously. So until some of these other players get back on the board, it's going to kind of be a while to see like how the game plays out. And like I said, I'm not really expecting a large offensive, like productive game today. Just based on these two teams and the personalities of these teams. Now, that being said, I'm still excited to watch these games. And I'm telling you, I'm excited to watch these games because of Ranking Ball. Because I'm now invested financially in these games, and these games are able to tell me, hey, like this is like I've told you this before. There are players that I wouldn't necessarily otherwise want to think about or consider, but yet because of Ranking Ball, I now know, hey, they have X amount of hits, home runs, RBIs this year. This is their batting average. You know, so it's got me more immersed in the game, which is great. But Daniel Vogelbeck is up right now. And Vogelbeck is hitting, what is he hitting? He's hitting 229 on the year, 26 home runs, 66 RBIs. So he's actually very, very strong right now. And he is up in the count, 3-0. What we need is Vogelbeck to do something big here. But obviously that's going to detract from our San Diego pitcher. So this is the complicated issue of the game when you're trying to score points on offense. Ooh, and they walk him. Vogelbeck gets 1.5 points for that. But my overall score is still remaining the same at 2.5 points. So very interesting. We'll see kind of how that plays out throughout the rest of the game. But we can also double check this rank. You can see 16.5 still, so nothing there. So yeah, so San Yu has one bingo count, and I assume that, oh yeah, so Vogelbeck, the pitching, and Crawford, so that's why they have 16.9 points, and that's why they're in first. Again, I don't see it being a very long-term solution, but we'll see. We'll kind of see how it plays. Right now, I'm not doing so great though, because I am 18th right now. So, you know, there's a huge point gap, yes, but I think that there's, like I said, this is still so early in the game. What? Okay, so. Okay, so Omar Navarez is up, and he's been doing fairly well actually this year. So, and there's a deep strike to right field, but an easy out for Hunter Renfroe. And so that keeps Vogelbeck at first. So Renfro with the great catch. So yeah, so let's see. So yeah, San Diego's pitching is not doing great right now. I do have 1 strikeout, balls on base, 1 inning pitched, 1.1 innings pitched. So yeah, so that's my score. So score of 2 on that. Vogelbeck, 1 walk, yes. Ooh, tight and inside on Seager. So Seager's last 5 games, he's been hitting 389. He's actually 7 of 18 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. On the year, Seager's only 218 with 10 home runs and 26 RBIs. But I didn't think that he was the kind of player that was going to be able to come through today, especially with that 218 average. Even though over the last few games he's been a lot more successful, I just don't see a lot of these players. I mean, you go up and down so much that I don't think that there's. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, so if you look at first place right now, 16.9 points. Again, they're missing Beckham and Murphy, and they're not in the board, so I don't see it being a very long-term sustainable solution to winning. One of the things is because I've had many games where I've missed players on my board, and even if it's one player, you can really feel it towards the end of the game when you start to need to really accumulate points that you're not able to do so because you just, like, the players aren't there. So having a full board is going to be key, and like I said, they might be ahead right now, but at this point, I don't see it being a very long-term solution. Now, if you look at the other boards, Zeno Sadie, I don't know. They same thing. Seattle pitching, Vogelbeck, 10.5 points. That's it. So again, missing Garcia and they're missing Murphy. So the players who are up right now in Ranking Ball are not going to be up long term, and I don't think that they'll actually be. Oh my goodness. Okay, this person, Atlas Maha, is missing 4 boxes, and I'm telling you right now, like they can't even get a bingo. So I mean, their day is gonna it's not gonna go very far at all at this point because they really can't get a bingo any direction, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, doesn't matter. So their day is going to be done very fast, I would assume. Now, I say all this, but obviously I'm not doing so hot. I'm like 19th place right now, but if we're 10th, again, a lot of people are missing players. Like, this is crazy, but it's really this is what I'm talking about. This is where pitching makes such a difference. So the moment, yeah, see 2 players missing again. Yeah, so, but you can tell the difference. So that's actually the gap right there between 8 and 9 is the gap between who picked San Diego pitchers and who picked Seattle pitchers. Because all the Seattle pitchers are up in the double digits, and all the San Diego choice are below that, myself included, unfortunately. And I have 1 point currently. But I have a lot of faith in what Lament brings. I understand he's coming back from Tommy John surgery. Use the other RB window when you show, and okay. Okay, so I am here, and okay, so yes, rank. Okay, was I not before? I thought I was using before. I'm not sure. So this is where I this because this is seems okay. I think I figured this out now. So, yes. So here is my board with everything. Okay. Dylan Moore is up right now. 213 batting average, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. He's got a 318 on base percentage, so not ideal. Again, I didn't really pick him, and I think, like I said, I think at the end of the day, I think San Diego is going to pull this out. It's still early, nothing. Bottom of the second, 2 on base, 2 outs. Can we get out of the inning? 0-1 pitch. Ooh, 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Tommy John surgery has a very interesting thing. Now, one of the funny things about Tommy John surgery is that Tommy John surgery, there is a rumor going out that pitchers can throw faster after having Tommy John surgery. And that's not necessarily the case. Doctors actually say that it's based on the fact that when you come back from Tommy John surgery, you have to do strike 3, and he goes down looking, and Seattle leaves 2 on base, and that is huge for pitching, for our pitching score. So that ends the bottom of the second inning. There we go. So that ends the bottom of the second inning, which is awesome. So again, we're getting some points. So we have 6 points. We are still in 18th place overall. Yes, so we're still in 18th place overall. 10 points back of first. Again, they have 1 bingo, and that's kind of, they had the Vogelbach, Crawford, Seattle pitching. That's it. They don't have anything else. We have Vogelbach pitching and Renfroe. So if Renfroe is able to do something offensively, maybe we can kind of come back from that. But we can take a look at other people. Like I said, anybody who's got double-digit numbers at this point is going to be, oh, look, San Diego. So again, they have a chance of getting 1 bingo. That's all, or 2 bingos. But that's it. Like they're not going to be in this game very long. Like that's not going to be. Jay Style, 10.5 points. He's 5th overall. Vogelbach pitching and Nola. So again, you're waiting, like it's still so early in the game. And the pitching surprisingly has done a very good job on both sides. So it's hard to actually kind of get any sort of solution anymore at this point. Like it's going to be a long game. I can't see this being a very high scoring game for either team. So we have to keep that in mind. So I think a lot of the points that we're going to rely on are going to come from pitching more than anything else. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. But there we go. Okay. So right now, San Diego needs to pitch way better. But LeBlanc has been phenomenal. So LeBlanc has been very good for Seattle today. And that's why everybody who has Seattle and Crawford apparently has been doing very well. And so I'm kind of regretting my decision to go San Diego. I wanted to go with something a little out of the ordinary. And the reality is Seattle just isn't a good team. So I didn't want to have to worry about ooh, and there's a line drive to the second baseman, and that is an easy out for Vogelbach and Nola. So that's 1 away. So Seattle right now is doing great. Like I think I'm pleasantly surprised. As a fan, I am pleasantly surprised. Now that being said, as a Ranking Ball fan, that's not what I needed at all. I was expecting them to do something else. And again, you can see a lot of players are missing players, and so a lot of Ranking Ball players are missing players on their board. They're missing boxes, and that's a huge problem because, like I said, they might be doing very well short term based off of the pitching, but long term, when you think about what's going to happen, it's not necessarily beneficial for your team. So we're almost at the bottom of the lineup for San Diego with Urales up. Urales, last time we saw him, was hitting under 100 for batting average. So he's been able to bring that up with a 113, and there's a shallow drive to left field, and that's good for a base hit. So Urales has actually been able to kind of find his groove in the last few games, the last few weeks, to bring up his batting average that much. So good for him, and I know he's still fairly new to the MLB after bringing him up from AAA, but I think he's starting to find his groove. I think he's getting a little more comfortable. Again, somebody with a 113, and like one of the rules that I definitely do when I'm looking at players and who to pick, I make sure that if you have a what is it? A batting average under 250, like even 260 or 270. I don't want to pick you if you have a low batting average under like 260, 270. And even then, but in this case, because of the teams that we're looking at, if you go through their batting averages, a majority of them are in the 230s, 240s, 220s, 260s. Like the batting averages of both teams are not ideal. Ooh, and there's another strike. Strike 2. And LeBlanc's got up on the count. But that last base hit brought Seattle's pitching down to -1 for San Yu. So you can see that 16.9 is now 15.9. So, let's see. Ben, for you, again, he did very well early just because of the pitching in the Crawford. But same thing. He can't get like that Vogelbeck and pitcher unless it goes horizontal or vertical. They're not, or vertical or diagonal. Those aren't going to go through. Like that horizontal isn't going to go through for Vogelbeck and Seattle's pitching. So that's going to be unfortunate. But like I said, long term, we'll kind of see how that plays out for him. And if we go through, let's actually look at so I'm 22nd right now out of 28, but let's just take a look at 28. So 28 has all San Diego players and two, and there's a short little one hopper and that's picked up by the catcher, and that is an easy pitch and catch to Vogelbeck for another out. So, so last place has 3.5 points, and that's purely based off of San Diego getting all the hits, and again, they're only able to get 2 bingos. So missing players is critical, and I'm not missing players. So I have a very good feeling that I think I'll be able to maintain this in terms of the long game. I think I'll be okay just because I have a full board to play with. Even if players like Hedges, for example, or like Renfroe are screwing me over and only giving me 5 points because they're striking out. So if that's the case for me, I think as long as Seattle gives up hits and San Diego doesn't, I think I'll be okay. But we'll kind of see, because San Yu has 20 points now, and it's just the pitching. Like, it is just the pitching, and I am very, very much regretting my decision to go with San Diego and not Seattle. But that happens. Like, that's just part of it. But we're going to forge through, and I believe that San Diego will make a comeback. And here's the thing. This game can change so radically. There's so many times where I've gone from first to 83rd or 83rd to second and third, and it's so I'm not worried. All I need is one good inning from San Diego and one terrible inning from the Seattle pitcher, and usually that's enough to kind of bring you back into the score, especially with a lower game like this when we're only talking about 28 players. It's going to be completely different compared to other games that are out there. So, but I'm very optimistic with San Diego's pitching. But it is hard, like I said, when you are dealing with pitchers and batters from opposite teams, because then you have to worry about other things that are just yeah. Anyways, Keon Bronxton, 185 average, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, a 239 on-base percentage, and that is not something to brag about. So, again, we are at the bottom, the very bottom of Seattle's batting list, and they are like Keon Bronxton is a prime example of Seattle's season. Now, here's the interesting thing. We talk a lot about hitting average, like batting averages and things like that, and that's really important, I find. Now, that being said, Seattle is still in the top 5 for most home runs hit on the year. by any team. So they have offensive production, but it's not enough. So, okay. Keon thought he might have got the walk there. That's strike one. So he's 3-1. So Lamet needs to pitch himself out of a hole right now. He's got the first one. He's 33 pitches in. And remember, Lamet has a very strict 90 pitch limit. And there, 95 mile an hour fastball popped up. Fouled away. But Lamet has a strict 90 pitch limit, and that is going to be the thing that we have to watch for. Once he gets to that higher pitch limit, let's see how much his fastball drops off and if it does or if it doesn't. So again, coming back from Tommy John surgery will be kind of interesting to see. And they walk him. Cool. That is great. Okay, cool. So that takes another hit on my board, and I have 3.5 points, and I am 22nd out of 28, I believe, and that's very, very unfortunate for me. Yes, so 3.5 points, and San Yu has 20. Again, the pitching is carrying him. That's it. Like, there's no other way to explain it. There's no other, like. Yeah, because the same with this guy. Like, this guy has 14 points, but they can't even get they actually can't get a single bingo, and they have 14 points purely based on pitching. Like, there needs, like, I need San Diego's pitching to do a lot more. Oh my gosh, and they go to steal second, and that is an off-point pitch, and so they are safe at second. So Bronxton gets the steal. So you can see he goes right away, and they go to bunt, and then the throw. That ball just curved midair. Right there, and it curves, and you can see the shortstop Tatis just can't get a hold of it. So that's unfortunate. So they get the stolen base. But that point, obviously, like I said, Bronxton getting on base took a huge hit on my pitching. Ooh, there we go. 84 mile an hour curveball. Let's see. Again, it's like they have 3 bingos possible. 1 vertical, 1 horizontal, 1 diagonal. They have three possible, right? Just because they're missing certain players. I mean, all the other people are missing players, so it's like, how do you? I mean, but it's the pitching. Like, it's purely the pitching. And there it was, strike 3. Malik Smith goes down swinging. So we are just started the top of the rotation all over again. But that is going to be huge for our pitcher, so we can get some more points. But it doesn't do much for us, even though we're still 20th with 5.5 points. But again, like that 11 to, yeah, like that's the San Diego pitching. Like that really, it comes down to San Diego pitching. And I'm dealing with 2 minus points with Hedges and Renfroe, and those are kind of killing me right now. So I need more. I simply need more production from San Diego. But again, with both teams, we knew that we weren't going to get that kind of production out of either of them. Let's see. Missing players again. Can't get that bingo. That's a useless diagonal bingo. Missing players again. Can't get those diagonal bingos. Can get the horizontal with Myers and the vertical with Myers, San Diego pitching, and Hedges. Okay, so I think that's kind of how it is for a lot of people. Missing players again. Awesome. So it's very difficult to play this game if you don't have all the players. Now I get that, yes, you can be up for a little bit, but like I said, if San Diego does end up winning this game, my rank is going to skyrocket significantly higher than, say, anybody who has, more points than me at this point, with Seattle pitching, right? Like, yeah, they have 14 points, and that's cool. But the moment the moment Seattle starts giving up runs, those 14 points are going to disappear very, very fast, and so they're going to be completely irrelevant then at this point. But 1 away, 1 and 2. Okay, just outside. Okay. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So Lament is bringing the heat, and that is huge right now. But yeah, so when you're talking about Tommy John surgery, people say that you can pitch faster when you come back, but really doctors say is that it's all the other little exercises and rehab that you do to build the arm stronger is what brings more speed rather than the surgery itself. And so surprisingly though, they have kids and parents in high school who are bringing they have parents and kids who are going to doctors in high school, and they're saying, hey, give me Tommy John surgery, even if they don't need it, just because they think that that's going to get them to pitch faster. And they obviously want to, kids want to make this a career. They want to do this. And, I understand that. But to do something like go through a medical procedure, and the thing is, the medical procedure is not 100% guaranteed, obviously. There's a lot of cases of any surgery going wrong, Tommy John surgery included. And so it doesn't make sense to me that, but again, people are looking for that edge. And so, when you think about like performance enhancing drugs and things like that, people are looking for that edge and they are so desperate to do it. And when you're talking about money and millions of dollars being put on the line, strike three, and that is Lament's 4th strikeout. That was dirty against Crawford. So take that, JP Crawford. All those people who have Crawford on the board, take that. Because, oh my gosh. Yeah, so you can see right here, San Yu, they had Crawford. They got that first bingo based off of Crawford, the pitching, and Daniel Vogelback. And now Crawford has -1. So we will take that. We will take that from them. So Domingo Santana is up right now. Domingo Santana could do something special for me, I think. But again, that's going to take points away from my pitching. So, okay, they're going to call that strike 1. Sweet. That one was just outside, and the umpire had to think about it a bit. He kind of sat on that one a little longer than I liked, but made the right call, I think. And again, we mentioned this on every broadcast, but I just want to mention it again. The strike zone that you see on the screen, that graphic is a rough representation of where the strike zone should be, but it's obviously a very fluid concept, and obviously the umpire might have a different idea of where that strike zone sits. As long as he's consistent, we're good with it. But you're talking about both sides, and they throw well over 100 pitches, so you're talking about well over 200 calls a game. You're gonna mess some up, you're gonna get some right. Like, it's just, that's the nature of it. Ooh, low and outside. So there's 1 and 2. But let's get back to the board. So I have a chance to get a bingo, but I have to wait for Hunter Renfroe to come back up, and that's not going to be until Seattle gets out of this inning right now. So it won't be till the 4th inning that we might be able to see some other players that are going to be able to score some points for me. Now, that being said, Domingo Santana is on my board. Boom, high and inside. They're not going to call that one, are they? Okay, 2 and 2. Okay, you don't want to call that one. I thought that was a strike. But Domingo Santana can get points here, and I think at this point, with my score, any points would just be good, right? So I think if he can just get and just open up the board maybe a little bit, and maybe Manny Machado, I could get a bingo that way then. I could get a bingo with Renfroe maybe later in the game. But I think that Domingo Santana, oh my gosh, come on. Okay. Lament needs to calm down. He's 3 and 2, 2 away, 1 on base. Just get out of the inning. Just strike out, get out of the inning. Like, oh man, see, with Domingo Santana though, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. Okay. Oh, strike 3, and he gets him, and that ends the 3rd inning, and that is unreal. That is a lot. So my pitching has gone up 13 points, which is phenomenal. But again, that detracts from my other score of -1. But I have 11.5 points, but I'm 21st overall still. So Sanyu's 18 points. Yeah, so yes, okay. 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 Yes. Okay, so yeah. All right. So yeah, so again, there's not, I mean, it's really hard to talk about like what's going on even with other players' boards because everybody else is missing players. So Ben 4, for example, who was at one point in the lead and is currently 3rd overall, has 14 points on Seattle's pitching alone, but can only get a bingo if, Crawford does something or if Santana does something. Or like they can't get the horizontal, like, so they have Vogelbeck, Seattle's pitching, and then they're missing players. So you're talking about you're talking about there we go. Yeah, so okay, so let's see who else is out there. Again, like missing boards, so there's not much that we can do about that. There's not much to talk about if they're missing players. Same thing, like they have to rely on Hunter Renfroe right now. And Will Myers is up, and boom, and there's, okay, so yeah, okay. Where are we? Okay, so Will Myers is up. There's, okay, so okay, so like again, if we look at this board, same thing. Missing players, can't get bingos. Like there's nothing happening. There's nothing that we can really talk about because if they don't have the players on board, then there's not much to really do or to really actually, like, there's nothing that can happen. So San Diego, so this guy here can get a bingo with Manuel Margot. But obviously right now we do have Myers up, who's 0 for 1 and goes down again. And LeBlanc gets his 4th strikeout of the day. And so that's going to just create and we do have Manny Machado up. So Manny Machado could get us points, and that would do something for us. And would that do, so Sanyu, Seattle's pitching is doing a lot for them. Now they as well, Sanyu, who is in first place with 20.9 points, can get points with Manny Machado, but can only get the horizontal bingo if that's the case. And Machado drives it deep to center field, but it is an easy catch for Keon Broxton. So that is an out for Manny Machado. So Manny Machado with a easy out, and Seattle has 2 away already. But we do have Eric Hosmer up. Hosmer is hitting 283 on the year. 118 hits, 16 home runs, and 75 RBIs. So he's 0 for 1 with a ground out in the second. And I'm looking for big things out of him. And there's a very, very slow off-speed pitch. But Hosmer can... So we have Tatis and we have Hosmer. Now we would have to wait for Tatis to go through the... We'd have to go through the batting order to wait for Tatis to get to that diagonal again. But with Hosmer... it would be great. Again, let's just get points at this position, because right now we are just down. So we need to just produce something. Again, 22nd overall, not ideal. 22nd out of 28. Ooh, low breaking ball. Strike one. Count is 2-1. Yeah, again, missing players, right? Like I can't. Let's see. Missing a lot of players. And there's an easy 3 away, 3 up, 3 down. Hosmer lets everybody down. And that's the end of the inning. Okay, so now we can check the scores. Okay, so 22nd overall for myself. Sanyu still first with 23.9 points. And again, they got one single bingo with Crawford, Seattle pitching, and Vogelbach. And yet they have 9 points because of Seattle pitching. And so they're really just relying on that. Okay, so like wait. I'm getting pulled in like 50 different directions here, and it is not ideal, to be completely honest. So I keep losing my train of thought, and I can't finish sentences at this point. Okay, so let's just jump back into it. Dana, for example, again, missing players, has a score of 17. All their points are coming from the pitching. Like there's no bingos, there's no nothing. Like this is what's happening when you're dealing with games like this. But this is the kind of game that we knew we were going to get, because these are not teams that are typically on fire, right? There's a reason these teams are not in the playoffs, and it's like there's nothing. I mean, we're like, look, this person has 17 points, but that's because they have no bingos. They probably won't get any bingos, but if they do, I mean, that would be huge for them, because they have 19 points sitting in the middle. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Vogelbach is back up. Vogelbach does have 1.5 points for me. So, you know, if he wants to get some more points, that's cool. Again, that's going to take away from the pitcher. It would be great if he could just do whatever he does just to not get any minus points. And that's kind of the important thing for me at this stage in the game, because I am clearly down on points. And, ooh, and there's a wild pitch by Lamet in the dirt. And Lamet is at 54 pitches on the day. So something, again, like I said, to keep in mind. He's got a very strict 90 pitch limit. So that's going to be kind of... ooh, and it looks like the umpire took a ball in the elbow on that one. Looks like he's okay. Count is 1-2. And the pitch. 96 mile an hour fastball, and Vogelbach gets a piece of it, but that is an easy ground out and a tag by the first baseman, Eric Hosmer. So he is out. He is out. So we have one away. So we do have Navarez up, and Narvaez. Sorry, Narvaez. And so Narvaez can get us points here. Again, I would be very okay with that. Because I think at this point we just need to get points. We just need to do any sort of progression. Again, same thing, missing bingos. They too have Narvaez on their board, but Narvaez can't do anything necessarily for them. There's no diagonal, there's no horizontal, and there's no vertical. And Narvaez easily grounds it, and that's picked up by Urialis and Hosmer, and that is a easy 2 away. So, who do we have up right now? So we have Kyle Seager. And I don't actually think I've seen anybody with Seager on their board. And look at that, my San Diego pitching has gone up even more, 16 points. So now I'm at 14.5 points, but the overall is still the same. I'm still sitting at 22nd overall. So you can see that, once pitching starts getting some points, you can really start to add up. And there's the end of the inning. Cool. So, let's check out this. Yeah, so first place is much more obtainable at this point. They're only 9 points up. So, again, they're being held together by their pitching. But that being said, I have more pitching points than they do, but they just had that first bingo from Vogelbach and Crawford. Now, I've mentioned before that it wouldn't necessarily be obtainable or sustainable, and in reality, it shouldn't. What's happening at this point more than anything is there's just no offensive production. Like, this is the kind of game that we knew was going to happen, is that there wasn't going to be a lot of offensive production from either side. I was a little more optimistic about San Diego and what they could bring in terms of their offense. But obviously they started the game with Matt Weisler, and then they pulled him after the first inning. And again, I don't know why. We didn't necessarily cover why he got pulled. But then they brought in LeBlanc, and LeBlanc just got on fire and just started throwing strikeouts. And so Seattle's score just, like, in terms of pitching, skyrocketed, whereas Lamet had a much slower start in comparison. And so the point system was very, very radically different earlier in the game. But we should come back, and I believe that Hunter Renfroe should be up. Now, I do believe I do have Hunter Renfroe on my list. So I have faith in what he can bring. But if we look at other boards, like first place, they do not have Renfroe. So if Renfroe gets any sort of points here, it's going to just detract from Seattle's pitching. And at this point, that's exactly what I need. So I need San Diego to have some more offensive firepower because I don't have. I think that might be it for the lineup. Margot Manuel. Yeah, don't have him. Don't have Uralis, and don't have. Well, I do have Hedges. So I mean, Hedges could score for me. That would be great too. But Renfroe did strike out in the first, so I need him to do something big here. Boom, and gets a piece of it. Again, 237 average, 30 home runs, 59 RBIs. And I remember I put him in there thinking, because we talked about how I don't like to have guys in there who have lower batting averages, but I put him in there very specifically because I was like, hey, he can actually do something, and I think he can actually make a difference. But now we have to wait and see what happens. Come on, LeBlanc. 3-2 pitch. Ooh, deep outside. Ball 4. Renfroe gets the walk. Now it doesn't give us a bingo, but we have 0.5 points. So I guess we need a full point before it actually will register. Otherwise, that should be a bingo for us. Am I wrong? I don't know. Ooh, look at Nichiro jersey. Nice. So I don't know what's going on with that, because Renfro has 0.5 points right now, and as far as I'm concerned, that should be good for a bingo, but it doesn't register me as getting that bingo. And I've dropped in points to 16 points, and I thought I had 22 points at some point. I don't remember now. So that's kind of annoying, that I thought I should be getting points there, but didn't. So I am in 17th place, though, so I'll take that. I will take that. We're moving up. We're moving up. So Josh Naylor, again, we're not going to get anybody until the end, so we've got 2 more batters after Naylor. Ooh, and right in the gap between shortstop and third base, and that'll be good for a base hit. And San Diego has runners in scoring position. Unbelievable. And so this game can change very, very fast. And so we will see kind of how the game updates in that regard. Wow. Okay, so top of the 5th. Yeah, so top of the 5th. Still nothing. This is a very, very defensive baseball game, and it's not necessarily ideal, but it's... Ooh, and there's the bunt, Manuel Margot, and so we can actually check the other players and see if they have Margot. So San Yu does not have Margot, but again, you can see that they are still in first place with 21.4 points, but that lead is dropping. And again, you have all these players who have points, but they can't do anything with them because they can't actually register bingos because they're missing players. So if there's more offensive production in this game, this is a very different game for everybody. But the thing is, everybody in this game right now is relying, and myself included, is relying on pitching points that haven't been registered because there hasn't been any bingos. There's been 1 bingo this game, I think, and everybody else has pitching points. So there's 1 bingo. Second place, bingo count 0. Third place, bingo count 0. Like, fourth place, bingo count 0. Like, there's, like, legitimately in 28 players, there's 1 bingo for everybody because there's been no offensive production. Like, and beyond just no offensive production, you're talking about there's no, yeah, see, 0. Like, so beyond just no offensive production, like, everybody's missing players. So because everybody's missing players and there's no offensive production, there's, like, nothing is happening. Like, there's no I mean, that's just the reality of the game. That, like, that's not even like ranking ball. We're talking about Seattle and San Diego here. Like, Seattle, like I said, is like third last, and it's at the wall. That'll be good, and runners will score, I believe. That'll be good for a double. 1 runner scores, and San Diego goes up 1-0. And so in an instant, San Diego takes a huge turn of events. And so, like I said, this game can change very fast. I just went from 20th position to 4th in a hurry, and I did not even have those players on my board. So let's see. So where is this mine? This is mine. So okay, so Renfro got the score, so they gave me the bingo there. So I completely missed it because I was looking at other boards, but that would have been the bingo. Vogelbeck, San Diego pitching, and Renfro, and there's a drive right in the gap between shortstop, almost hits, and there's another San Diego score right there. So in a hurry, this game has completely changed and flipped upside down. And wow, okay, so you can see here, Boom. Almost hits. Who is that? I don't even know. So that's not Machado, is it? No, Margot. That almost hit Margot. And was that Austin Hedges that hit that? Or was that Uralis? I don't even know anymore. So, wow. So in one inning, LeBlanc has given up 2 runs, 2 runners on base, first and third, in scoring position. There's no outs. No outs. And we've gone from 20th to 4th place in a hurry. And let me tell you, that is how this game is. Ranking Ball relies so much on offensive production, and if you don't get it, then you gotta try to find points somewhere else. But so now we gotta calm down, because obviously that was just way too much excitement, way too fast. And Austin Hedges does have a strikeout. He is 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the third. And you can see that strikeout has -1 points for me. So it'd be great if he could even get like that 0.5, even if it doesn't necessarily register. At least it would get me into the positives, because that negative point is killing me right now. And he bunts it, and that is short. That's going to let 1 runner score. So the sacrifice bunt by Austin Hedges lets 1 runner score, and the runners advance. So now Margot scores, Austin Hedges is out. There's 1 away, and San Diego is up 3-0. So in a single inning, that is a perfect bunt. And you can see LeBlanc, out of instinct, goes straight to first base. LeBlanc was not going to be able to get the runner on third coming home. He had too much of a head start on him, so that wasn't. So he made the right play, but obviously San Diego scored again. So I am now in 3rd place, which is surprising. So actually Hedges, because of the sacrifice play, that actually allows him to have points. So that's what brought me up. And we have Tatis Jr. up, and Tatis again is in a critical spot for me. With a .314 batting average, I was hoping that he would be able to do something special for me, for everybody else. So I put him in the big spot for points. Boom! And Tatis Jr. takes him deep to the upper deck, tells the ball, get back to your seat, let me help you get there. And Tatis Jr. gets a 2-run home run. And like that, San Diego goes up 5-0 in the top of the 5th with 1 away. And LeBlanc is gotta be pulled now. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so, mind blown right there, Tatis. Oh, and that's like, again, oh my gosh. Okay, so I put him right in the bottom right corner, which is the most lucrative points position, let's say. And so I wanted him to do something special, and I needed him to do something special. And right there, he gives me 8 points, and I am currently in 4th place with 32.2 points, only 1.5 points out of 1st place right now. And LeBlanc has got to be shaken right now. But let's look at 1st place. So 1st place has 1 bingo count. It might have been, right there. There was probably Renfroe, San Diego pitching, and Tatis, because that would have been huge. And that would have been really the only other place that they could have got it. So there, again, you're talking about relying on 1 bingo based off of points. But I don't see it being sustainable just because of how they have the rest of their board laid out. This would have been Tatis pitching and Seager, I assume, because I don't think Machado's done anything. So that would have been the points right there. I mean, myself, I only have 1 bingo count, but it's and again missing points, but they have a bingo count. So I mean, Myers. I don't know which one they would have got, either the horizontal or the diagonal. That one is kind of, up in the air. But Machado is up right now. He is 0 for 2, a foul out and a line out. There's 2 away, and the count is 1-1. And LeBlanc needs to get out of this inning. He only has 58 pitches. I think they want to keep him in there longer, but the game says otherwise to me. If I'm Seattle's manager and I lose, I give up 5 runs, I'm pulling you. Like, there's no way I want you back in the game, because not even just for the sake of the score, but just for the sake of your psyche. And Machado gets a piece of it. Count as 1 and 2. So if we scroll down, though, we can actually take a look at who's in last place now. So Ben 4, who at one point was first in the game, has now dropped to a score of 9.5 points and is now 28th overall. And there's another hit. Just a one-hopper to Seager. Seager tosses it to Vogelbeck, and that's 3 away. So now we are now out of the inning. Okay, so we are now out of the inning. And LeBlanc has got to be shaken. But yeah, so Ben 4, like I mentioned before, he was first place, and he was up there in the top 5 for a significantly long time. And you can see that, like I said, because you're missing players, it's going to drop you down in the ranks. Like, you're not going to be able, it's not a sustainable business model. And he's got points with Vogelbeck in the pitching still, but you can't get that bingo, and you're leaving points on the board. So that's kind of the risk that you take, right? Let's see, who else is doing really? So same thing, Zeno Sadie. Zeno Sadie was second for a long time. They've dropped down to second last now, and they've got a score of 11. But again, the Renfroe pitching, Garcia, nope, can't do that. Navarez, they could do that, but that's it. Like, you're leaving so many points out on the board that you can't bingo because you don't have players. Like, pay attention, dang. Well, San Yu was in the lead for a very, very long time, and like I said, after that pitching debacle that just happened, their pitching is now minus 1.5 points, and they've dropped down to 24th overall. So, I'm not saying Seattle can't come back, but it's, it happens. I mean, it's just like, this is how drastic this game can be. And I mean, like we saw it earlier in the game, I was consistently 20th, 23rd, 22nd, and now I'm in 4th place. Now, again, I understand that might not necessarily be sustainable, but I have a very good feeling. I mean, as long as Eric Hosmer can get 1 hit or do something, and, Lamet can just pitch this inning, maybe get a few strikeouts, I'll have a huge bingo right there with Hosmer, Tatis, and the pitching, and obviously that's a diagonal as well, so that's going to give me even more points. So I think that would propel me, to first place. But I need to rely on Hosmer then. So we're going to have to wait through the lineup, because I think Hedges was the last up. I think Hedges was up, or Uralix was up. But yeah, so we're going to have to wait for San Diego to go back through the lineup, and we'll see a few other players that we have on the list, like Machado, before we actually, and even Tatis again before we get back to Hosmer. But I think, if Lamet can pitch this inning, get out of it scoreless, even if he gets a hit or 2 hits, but as long as he doesn't give up runs, I think Lamet will have a positive point score after this inning. And then I just need Hosmer to get just 1 or 2 points, and if I bingo that, then problem solved. Boom! Ooh, strike 3, and Austin Nola goes down looking, and Lamet is starting to get in a rhythm here. And so there we go. So I have 2 points now on Lamet. I have got 34.1 or 34.2 points on the board. So we can double check. So again, I'm still in 4th place. Same thing goes for here. So what do they need? So again, with Ekatano, the only way that they can get bingos is with San Diego offensive production with the diagonal, and they can get a horizontal, but they need Domingo to do well. And I don't think we're going to see Domingo this inning. So, I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. So they're relying a lot. But they do have 2 bingos, so that's how they're doing well. So I assume they might have gotten that bingo earlier, the Myers pitching and Santana and the Margot San Diego Urales bingo. I assume they would have got both, but it's not a sustainable business model. Oh, and that is just foul. Oh my goodness, that was just foul. That one could have been gone. And you can see the ball right here. So there's the foul line. And it just goes foul at the last minute, curves over that line in deep right field. And there's Renfroe making a run for it. But the count is 0-2. Okay, it's a little high. All right, 1-2. That's cool. But let's see who else. So who is up right now? Dylan Moore is up. So let's see if we can find somebody with a Dylan Moore. Oh, does not have Dylan Moore. Does not have Dylan Moore. Does not have Dylan Moore. Okay. See, I guess nobody likes Dylan Moore, so. Nope, does not have Dylan Moore. And there's strike 3. And Lament with a little cheeky smile there, but I will take it. Goes down looking, and you can tell Dylan Moore is pissed about that one. And I don't blame him, but you know what? I appreciate it because now, like I said, my pitching has got a few more points, and I'm good with that. That's what I need. Boom! Jin KRB, 36.2 points in 3rd place. And I think I'm closing that gap between 1st and 3rd because these guys can't really get bingos because they're missing players. And I think just having my board open is really what's doing a lot for me right now. But Keelan Bronxton has a walk in the 1st and then a stolen base, but he's still 0 for 2. Well, technically he's 0 for 0. But yeah, 185 batting average, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, 243 on base percentage. Ooh. And Lament gets him, ends the 5th, and wow, strike 3, and Lament is on fire right now. Lament is feeling it. So that is a good sign. Yeah, so that is a good sign. Where am I going? I'm going right there. Okay. So let's update everything and just see what happens. So still in 3rd place. I am about 3 points out of 1st right now. But you can see now, like I said, when there's no offensive production, you're talking about like, I mean, look at this. Look at the bottom, like 28th place, Ben 4. He was in 1st for a while. Zeno Cassidy was in 1st for a little while. He's 2nd last now. San Yu was in 1st for a long time and is now 24th overall. Like, this game can change in an instant. And, I mean, it could still go the other way. Do not get me wrong. It could still very quickly go in the other way and I could find myself back at 20th place. But I played the odds here. Like, for me personally, with what I wanted and what I was looking for, I thought, hey, maybe this can happen. Maybe like we can actually make this work. And like I said, I grew up in Seattle, went to school in Seattle. I love Seattle, but I know that, like, I know the team. Like, I think that Seattle is still capable of maybe putting 1 or 2 home runs out there. And hey, if they do it, cool. As long as it's Vogelbeck, Navarez, or Santana, I'm good with one of those 3 guys going deep. But that being said, if they don't and San Diego keeps pitching the way it is, I'm good with it. But I kind of knew what to expect with the kind of players that San Diego has versus the kind of players that Seattle has. So, so we are back. And is LeBlanc still in the game? That would be interesting. That would be very interesting to see if they actually pulled LeBlanc or not. There's Eric Swanson, right-handed pitcher, warming up in the bullpen. And LeBlanc is still in the game. So Hunter Renfroe is 0 for 1 with a walk in the 5th and 1 run. And I am very, very nervous about this. I mean, Hunter Renfroe. Oh, and he gets a hit. Just in time, and he is out. Hunter Renfroe grounds out. So Eric Hosmer, did we miss Eric Hosmer? What happened there? Ooh. Just in time. Great defensive play. Yeah, oh yeah, well in time. Great play by Seager. So I guess Eric Hosmer is got out. So we're gonna have to wait on that. That's very unfortunate. Unless, oh, you know what? Eric Renfroe led off the inning, I think. No, because we have 2 away. So Hosmer must have gotten out somewhere, but we didn't see it on screen. So that's very unfortunate because that denies us the bingo. And so this is the tough part, is when you're relying on certain players. Ooh, just foul. Just foul. Got a huge piece of it, but that was just foul by Josh Naylor. And I don't have Naylor on my board. So let's see who does. Maybe first place? No, they don't have Naylor. Okay. Second place? No, they don't have Naylor either. Okay. See. Nope. Big win. Nope. It's hard to talk about the players and other teams or other players when they don't have the batter at all on their board. That makes it difficult. This one. Pen. Nope. Man, how are you missing 3 and you're missing the top 3? Like, that's crazy. Boom. Nope. But we might have to wait a few innings just to get Eric Hosmer back. But hopefully Hosmer can come back and really do something for us. That'd be great if he could do anything for us at this point. But look at this. This person who's in 13th place got 25 points on the pitching, 4.5 with Uralis, but waiting on Myers, who has -2. So I mean, you're waiting on a bingo that might not come, and Austin Hedges too. Like, that's tough when you gotta rely on Hedges. But if he gets either of those, that would be huge for him. And there's a fly out, and that's the end of this, the middle of the 6th, the top of the 6th. So Seager or LeBlanc gets out of the inning very, very fast. But let's check this ranking. So I'm still in 3rd place, 48.2 points. Akatono has 51.5 still. And, you know, again, there's not a lot of people in here, but dang, like, it blows my mind. Like I said, that like Ben Fo, Zeno, Sadi, Sanyu, like they were all up at the top. Jay Style, again, went with Seattle. Okay, that's actually a very balanced board because of the positioning. But again, decided to go with Seattle and thought that Seattle was going to be the winning team. And, you know, they still might come back. Like I said, I mean, Seattle has the ability to hit home runs. They can hit a lot of home runs in a hurry if things come together for them. But not necessarily, might not necessarily be their strong suit. And, you know, a lot of teams have off days. And clearly, these two teams, having the record that they have had a lot of off days. So, Jay Style is down in 21st place. So, that's where I was before, and it's not fun to be down there. Like, it's really not. Again, missing 3 players. Like, they could get a huge bingo there if Santana does something. That makes me not want Santana to do anything because they've got so many points. Like, this is the thing. Like, you have all these players that are out there, and like myself included. Like, if you saw my board with my rank and my score, and you said, wow, if Hosmer gets 1 point, I'm going to score a lot of points on that diagonal, you wouldn't want that player to get a run either, because you know that's, you know, kind of how it's going to play out. So, but again, you don't really know what everybody else is doing. So that's kind of why I want to show you guys what else is happening, kind of what else is out there. Makes a huge difference. But yeah, so Malik Smith is up. Malik Smith is not on my board, but he is 0 for 2 in the day with 2 strikeouts. So if we can strike him out again, that would be great. Come on, Lamet. Boom! Oh, and he gets a grounder to second, and that is there in time for the out. 1 away. That is what we needed. That is what we needed. Beautiful play. Beautiful play. So 1 away. So we are now in the bottom of the 6th inning, and San Diego is up 5-0, and it's just unbelievable how fast these things change and like turn around. Again, relying on San Diego's pitching. Hosmer. Oh, they have Hosmer in the same place that I do. Interesting. Not that that's really like, there's only so many places you could put them. So, yeah, strike 1. Sweet. Ranam. Okay, let's see, who's right behind me? So I'm in 3rd with 50.2 points, and so they're only about 0.6 points back of me, and what do they have? So they really just have pitching. So again, they're missing critical bingos, and it's just, like, they're missing so many players. Like, so many people are missing so many players, and it's absurd. But Domingo Santana is up. If Santana wants to go deep, I mean, at this point, I'd prefer if he just kind of, just get on base. Just get on base. Like, don't do anything special. Don't be a hero. Ooh, and Santana goes down swinging. That is dirty. That is just, and Lament just put it to him. That was unreal. Wow. Oh, wait, that was Crawford. Why am I talking about Domingo Santana? Crawford's not on my board though, right? No, okay. Because I remember Crawford was huge for earlier in the game. Crawford was one of the guys who had like one of the few points for a lot of these guys. So like, I think it was, if we go to San Yu, yeah, so Crawford now is -2, but he had the very first bingo based off of that. So now Domingo Santana's up. He's 0 for 2, grounded in the grounded out, and then a strikeout. So Santana would be great, I think, if he gets something. But again, he's -1 for me at this point. I'm doing okay. So, I mean, if I lose a point because of a strikeout, I'm going to get 2 points, I think, for the pitching. So I'm actually good if Santana Domingo strikes out here. But 265 average, 21 home runs, 67 RBIs, and 805 on-base percentage. And we're hoping to drop that. There we go, 2-1, 2-1. Let's go, let's go. But again, bingo count is so much lower than typical games. Ooh, 2-2, great, great. Who else has Santana? They do not have Santana. Well, 4th place behind me. They don't have anybody. 5th place. They don't. Oh, they have Santana as well. Okay, so they can actually get a bingo if Santana gets a hit. So if Santana gets a hit, TG Kim 12 might overtake me because they're only 1 point back of me. And if Santana gets on base, that's going to give them the bingo down the horizontal, which is worth 1.2 times. So they would overtake me, and they would probably jump to 1st, actually. Oh, they're going to call that a ball. Okay, okay. Okay, 3-2, full count. Bottom of the 6th, no one on base, 2 outs. And I actually really need Santana to strike out here to keep TG Kim off my back. I need the strikeout. but TG Kim 12 needs Santana to do something to get that bingo. Strike out Santana. Ooh, strike 3, and that ends the inning. That ends the 6th. Take that, TG Kim 12. Boom. And I get it. I'm taking a hit too, but we'll check the rank quickly. And so I have dropped down to 4th. But again, that's pure, like, whoever this person is, just on pitching. Like, there's nothing else. Like, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So I'm not even worried about that. But we will see. Like, I mean, the points are just kind of all over the place. And so Kim dropped as well. So again, -2 for Domingo Santana. So Santana's going to have to do something special for him to get out of that, to get a bingo out of that. But we'll see kind of how the game plays out. But yeah, so unbelievable. The thing I love about baseball is that it can change so fast, so very, very fast. And, you know, especially with Ranking Ball, it's, like I said, I mean, I spent the first half of that game when it was 0-0 and there's no points. It's hard to do anything, right? So, and that's for either side. So you're relying on pitching, but Seattle's pitching was at the time doing so much better. And then LeBlanc folded, gave up 5 runs, and it opened everything up. And now, boom, I'm in the top 5, no problem. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the game plays out. But that's going to be it from everybody here at Ranking Ball. We want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to check back at rankingball.com and check your mobile applications to check your scores and to make sure that you've risen through the ranks. Thank you from all of us here. Have a good one, and we will be back tomorrow to stream again. Pow.